during a heated fight. My fiancée looked at me with disgust and said, "You should be grateful I'm still here." I calmly replied, "Let me fix that." What she found on our dining table a few minutes later made her drop to her knees. My name is Nathan. I'm 29, and 8 months ago, I got engaged to Rachel. We had been together for 4 years, and I truly believed I knew the person I was promising my life to. But it turns out that engagement ring on her finger flipped a switch inside her, awakening a sense of entitlement I had never seen before. It started small. Little comments here and there about her friends' fiancés, how they did more, bought better gifts, planned extravagant, Instagram-worthy date nights every single week. I work in IT support. I make decent money, but I don't have that tech bro level of wealth. This was never an issue for her in the 4 years before the engagement. But now, it was apparently all that mattered. Things began to escalate last month. I was pulling 60-hour weeks, taking every overtime shift I could get just to save for the wedding that she wanted. We're talking a $40,000 minimum. Her vision just kept expanding. A designer dress, a luxury venue, over 200 guests. I was constantly exhausted, stressed out, and my back was in knots from a lingering work injury. While I was working myself to the bone, Rachel started going out more. Girls' nights, she called them, that somehow never ended until 3 a.m. New, expensive clothes kept appearing in her closet, items that cost more than our entire monthly grocery budget. When I gently brought up our dwindling wedding savings, she'd wave it off. "Babe, I need to look good," she'd say. "I'm taken now, but that doesn't mean I should let myself go." Last Friday was the breaking point. I had just finished a grueling 12-hour shift, covering for a sick colleague. I walked through the door of our apartment, aching and drained, only to find her in full makeup, wearing a stunning designer dress I'd never seen before. "Going somewhere?" I asked. "Cassidy's birthday dinner," she said, not looking up from her phone. "I told you about it yesterday." "No, you didn't," I said. I would have remembered. "Well, it's not my fault you don't listen," she snapped. "Anyway, I need $200 of my share of the gift and the dinner." I sighed. "Rachel, we just paid the venue deposit. We're tight on cash until my next paycheck." That's when she said it. She turned to face me, her eyes cold, and uttered the words that changed everything. "God, you're pathetic. Do you know how many guys would kill to be with me? You should be grateful I'm still here, instead of with someone who can actually provide." I just stared at her. For years together. 2 years living in this apartment that I paid for. And this is what she really thought of me. That I was pathetic. That I should be grateful for her presence. A strange calmness washed over me. The stress, the exhaustion, it all vanished, replaced by a cold, hard clarity. "You're right," I said. "Let me fix that." Her face brightened instantly. "Finally. So you'll give me the money?" "No," I said. "I meant I'll fix you still being here." I walked into our home office, my mind perfectly clear. I printed out a series of documents I had been quietly compiling for weeks, a just-in-case folder I had hoped I would never need. I laid them out page by page on the dining room table. I grabbed my keys. "I'm going to stay at my brother's tonight." I told her. "We'll talk tomorrow." "Are you seriously leaving because I asked for money?" Real mature Nathan. I didn't answer. I just left. My phone started blowing up with texts and calls before I even reached my car. All variations of "what is this?" and "you can't be serious." What she found on that table was the undeniable, documented truth of our relationship. Bank statements, highlighted to show that I had paid over 78% of our shared expenses for the past 2 years. Receipts for the custom engagement ring she insisted on. A ring that cost me 3 months of my salary. A detailed spreadsheet of all the wedding expenses I had already covered completely on my own. The venue cancellation form, filled out with all the necessary details, waiting only for a signature. And beside all that, I left 2 other things. The first was my grandmother's ring, a beautiful, vintage piece I had originally planned to propose with, before Rachel made it clear she needed a real diamond to show her friends. The second was a short, simple note. It read, "You're right. You deserve someone who can provide better. I'm setting you free to find them." When I got to my brother Marcus's place, he took one look at my face, handed me a beer, and said, "She finally showed her true colors, didn't she? How did you know?" I asked. "Dude," he said, "she complained about the size of the diamond at your own engagement party. We all knew. I guess you were just the last one to see it." The entitlement didn't just continue. It went nuclear. I woke up Saturday morning to find Rachel's car parked in Marcus's driveway. She had slept in it all night. She looked like a wreck, makeup smeared, still wearing the expensive dress from the night before. Marcus, being the good guy he is, knocked on her window. She jolted awake and stumbled out of the car. "Nathan, thank God. We need to talk." "No, we really don't," I said. "You can't just end things. We have a wedding planned. I have a dress on order. What will people think? That's your main concern, isn't it?" I replied, "What other people will think? My cousins already booked their flights," she cried. "Good thing I filled out that cancellation form then." She followed us inside uninvited. Marcus's girlfriend, Priya, was making breakfast and just raised an eyebrow at the intrusion. Rachel immediately launched into her performance. "Baby, please," she started, her voice cracking strategically. "You can't throw away 4 years over one little fight." "I'm not," I said. "I'm throwing it away over finally seeing who you really are. This isn't about one fight. It's about everything. It's about the little comments, the constant pressure, and that final, ugly truth you shared last night. So this is about money, isn't it?" She sneered. "No, it's about respect. Something you clearly don't have for me." That's when she switched tactics. She pulled out her phone, her eyes narrowing. "If you don't talk to me, I'm calling your mom." "Go ahead," I said. "She never liked you anyway." She actually did it. She called my mom, putting her on speaker for all of us to hear. "It's 8 a.m. on a Saturday, Rachel." My mom's voice crackled through the phone. "Nathan's having some kind of breakdown." Rachel wailed. "He canceled our wedding." There was a pause. Then my mom said, "Good. About time. Nathan, you there?" "Hi, Mom." "I'm proud of you, honey," she said warmly. "Marcus, make sure he eats something. Rachel, lose my number." She hung up. The look on Rachel's face was priceless. But she wasn't done. She began rapid-fire calling her own support system, trying to build an army to shame me into submission. Her sister, Vanessa, her mom, her best friend, Jojo, all put on speaker. Ask her what she said to me last night. I told Vanessa. I said I needed money for Cassidy's birthday. Rachel interjected. "And that's it." I pressed. "You don't remember telling me I should be grateful you're still with me? That you could do better than someone so pathetic?" Even her own sister was shocked into silence. Rachel hung up fast. When the venue called her on Monday to confirm the cancellation I had submitted, she realized I was serious. That's when she went from manipulative to unhinged. She tried to get into my apartment, but I had already changed the locks. My neighbor told me she stood outside my door for 2 hours, alternating between yelling and crying. Then came the social media assault. She posted our engagement photos with captions like, "Some men can't handle a strong woman who knows her worth," and "Dodged a bullet. Imagine marrying a man who gives up at the first sign of a challenge." Her friends dutifully piled on with comments about toxic masculinity. So I made my own post. Since we're sharing, I wrote, "Here's what my ex meant by knowing her worth, telling me I should be grateful she stays with someone as pathetic as me. I agree. She deserves someone who meets her standards, and I'm setting her free to find them." Then I attached a spreadsheet of expenses, a public record who had actually funded our relationship for 2 years. The comments section shifted direction very, very quickly. On Tuesday, she showed up at my work, in full tears, holding a poster board covered in our photos with the words, "I'm sorry," scrawled across it. I watched on the security feed as they escorted her out and threw her sign in the trash. On Wednesday, I got a call from the wedding dress shop. "Mr. Chun," the manager said, "your fiancée is here trying to pick up her dress, but the car was declined." "Not my fiancée." I corrected him. And I canceled that card after removing myself as a guarantor on the purchase. She could be heard shrieking in the background as I hung up. On Thursday, she showed up at my brother's place with a U-Haul truck, demanding her things. My stuff is in a storage unit. I told her, you can have access as soon as you pay me back the $8,400 you owe for your half of the rent you never contributed. Her jaw dropped. Finally, on Friday, her mother called me to negotiate. Let's be reasonable, Nathan, she said. Rachel made a mistake. She's learned her lesson. Cruel is telling the person who pays for your entire life that they should be grateful you tolerate them. I said, I'm being logical. In the final weeks, Rachel went scorched earth. She started telling people I was abusive, that I was financially controlling her. The problem was her own Instagram was a multi-year testament to the trips I paid for and the gifts I bought. Her lies quickly fell apart. She even filed a police report claiming I stole her belongings. I showed the officer the lease of my name and the text where she admitted to never paying rent. He quickly deemed it a civil matter and left. Her last play was to show up at my apartment late one night, looking broken and vulnerable. She pleaded through the door, saying she'd been going to therapy, that she realized what she'd lost. I'll do anything, she cried. I'll pay you back. Pay me back, I said through the door. Now you're talking. That'll be $11,600 for the rent and the lost wedding deposits. Cash or a certified check only. Silence. You know I don't have that. Then we have nothing more to discuss. You're really going to throw away 4 years over money? No, I said, my voice firm. You threw us away when you told me to be grateful you tolerated my pathetic self. I'm just finally taking out the trash. I heard her slide down the door, sobbing. I felt nothing but relief. It's been a month now. The truth eventually came out that the birthday dinner that started all this was actually a cover for a date she had with a guy from her gym. He apparently ghosted her when he realized she expected him to fund her lifestyle. I canceled the wedding, but I kept the photographer and the DJ and threw myself an Independence Day birthday party instead. My mom gave a toast. It was the best party of my life. Rachel is now living with her parents, working at her mom's boutique. And me? I'm good. Therapy has helped me see the years of gaslighting I endured. I was accepting crumbs and was told to be grateful for them. Never again. The image of her dropping to her knees when she saw those papers on the table stays with me. It wasn't about her pain. It was the moment she realized that I finally knew my own worth. My wedding would have been next month. Instead, I'm taking myself on a trip to Europe with the money I saved. First class. Because when you're not funding someone else's fantasy, you can finally afford your own reality. And my grandmother's ring, I gave it to Marcus. He's proposing to his girlfriend, Priya, next month. At least it'll go to someone who knows what real gratitude feels like.